What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Sanctorum of Spirits with me, Sam Nash Green, Scribe of Spirits. I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands. I'm trying out new intros, and you guys are getting the worst of them. And eventually I'll get it right. Today we're talking about an older expression of Laphroaig Cairdeas. If you can't tell, we've been on a Laphroaig kick here recently. We had a really fun live stream with their master ambassador, Simon Brooking, on February 23rd. And we decided to review some of the bottles that we had. So this is going to be fun. Laphroaig means hollow by the bay, and this is their 2016 Cairdeas release. This is aged in ex-Madeira casks. I believe it was second fill Madeira. Now Madeira is actually an island this is actually done in a Madeira cask, and Madeira is an island in Portugal. So their chief export is actually their namesake, or I think this is the namesake, I think. They export Madeira wine. It's a sweet fortified wine like sherry, but it doesn't come from the Jerez region of Spain or the Sherry Triangle, whereas a lot of your sherry comes from Jerez, Spain. This comes from the island of Madeira, and it is, like I said, a sweet fortified wine. This is clocking in at 51.6% ABV, so that is 103.2 proof, I think. And let's give this, there we go, that's a nice pop, a taste. Now you'll notice that I'm pouring kind of gently and diligently, and I have my hands right there so it doesn't, leak all over the bottle and down the side of the bottle. So, Cairdeas is their annual release, and it means friendship. It's Scots Gaelic for friendship. And this was their 2016 release, which is why there's so little, because it's been very much loved on, and that is a good thing. Whiskey is for sharing and enjoying. I tell people all the time that I don't have a collection. I used to have a collection, now I have a library. And in that library, there are two books, or bottles, that are encased in glass, that are do not break ever. But everything else is fair game. Just those two little bottles, never opening. One is a boot flask from Garrison Brothers, which we'll get a review up on this channel soon. And the other is a little memorial piglet, which is what somebody calls their minis, from Dave Pickerell's Memorial in Kentucky. Dave, we miss you. Rest in peace, my friend. So, on to the whiskey. Surprisingly, for a Madeira cask, this is actually really light. Madeira is, like I said, it's a fortified wine. I believe it's a red. I believe it's usually red. I'm not entirely certain. This does have a slight red hue, but that could be imagination. It's really gold, like light gold straw. Almost lemony. Onto the nose. We need a little more. That's not enough. There we go, that should do it. We try to preserve bottles. We don't try to kill them on reviews, so we don't want to pour all this out. I get a lot of butterscotch, sweet, kind of, saltwater taffy. There is notice of that Laphroaig smoke, but it's in the back end. Sorry, did I get lost in smelling that? I kind of did, didn't I? It smells really good. Interesting in Scott. It's not quite seaweed, but it does have that wet brininess to it. Almost like if you wet brined, like a steak or something over for a couple of days and you went and smelled, like the salt water afterwards. It kind of does smell like that. Interesting how this sweet wine totally brings forward the smoke on Laphroaig, whereas in our Laphroaig Cairdeas 2020 review, we talk about how the port cask and the wine cask mute a lot of that smoke. But no, this is like drinking a charcoal briquette straight off with a little bit of sweetness into it. And that's really all I have for you on this one. It's delicious, it's fantastic. If you can find it, buy it. Wow. Oh wow, this is good. You don't get a lot of the Madeira. It's there, but you get a lot of the salt and the char and the brine. That's all we have for you today, guys. See you next time. Cheers.